What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about HBAR today at the request of Degenerate Spectator. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, you guys, and let's get into it. So, looking at HBAR here, sitting at about 27.5 cents. Had a nice little move, breaking out of this triangle, this pennant, this flag, whatever you want to call it. Now you're just moving back down. It looks like what you're doing is you're back testing the area that you broke out from. So you could move a little bit lower. And I know that's so odd to hear, right? Because where you broke out was basically here, right? At this point here. So moving back, your low of this move down could be lower than your breakout point itself, but that's because the area that you're back testing is this trend line itself, right? And you haven't quite reached it yet, but you're getting there. And who knows, maybe it's that trend line, maybe it's this trend line, in which case you have touched it, I don't know. But you probably, if you haven't found your low, you're probably very close to it. I think that you're practically there, right? You didn't have a lot of volume on this move up, but you did have more volume over those 2 days that you moved up than you did over the past 4 days, probably all together, right? So very just consistently low volume on the way down, okay? It is the weekend. It is Saturday and Sunday. It was Christmas week. The low volume might continue, so don't be surprised or don't be impatient. Don't get too bored. Maybe do get bored, but just expect it, that we could basically stand still and not move for the next couple days. It's very possible. But starting next week and going into the new year, I would expect that we do bounce out of this area and start moving up higher. Right, I expect the opening for January will be very bullish for HBAR indeed. If not, maybe you see a little bit of a pullback, and then you move up from there as well, right? Because again, breaking out of this overall trend, you're pulling back to this, but taking away the idea of breaking out of this pattern here, you could also, if you move up here, be breaking out of this resistance point here, where you found resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. You even found a little bit of support up here for a day, essentially, right? Breaking out of this, you could pull back in the beginning of January, find support here, back test, and then move up, right? So something like that could happen. Just be prepared, essentially, for probably the next week to be the ignition of this next phase up. I do expect that right now you're at 27.5 cents. I do expect that you're at your low, if not very near your low. If that's true, we should see congruence in the shorter term time frame. So let's start at the 1 hour time frame here. Looking at the 1 hour, volume dying off. Yes, it's dying off immensely. As you're moving lower, that tells me you're getting toward the end of your move down, right? Just like here, when you're moving higher, your volume's dying down, right? As you're moving up, your volume's dying down. You're getting toward the end of your move. You had a slightly higher high here with less volume, right? Dramatically dropped off in volume, and then you turned around. As you're progressing lower here, your volume's dying off. You might have a little lower to go. It's possible, but you're probably very near your low, very, very near your low, right? So looking at the 1 hour time frame here, I wouldn't call that bullish divergence, though it is diverging bullishly technically. I would think with this look, I would think you do move down just a little bit more. If you were to move down, you're at 27.5 cents now. I would think you move down to about 26.5 cents. You might not even move that low, but something like that. And it literally could take 2 days just to see that kind of a move. I do suspect the weekend to be boring. If it's not boring, maybe you get a little volatility. I don't know. But I think by the beginning of next week, you'll have your low, you'll start moving up, or maybe today you'll have your low and then Sunday you start moving up, Monday you start moving up more. I don't know. But if it's not here, it's going to be here, just a little bit lower, probably just above 26.5 cents, honestly. So nothing too much to the downside. On a 4 hour perspective, 4 hour RSI, it would kind of suggest that you go lower as well, which makes sense with the 1 hour, which makes sense with the price perspective, right? Because if you go lower here on the 4 hour, maybe you find support where you found support the last 1, 2, 3, 4 times, right? Maybe you literally do that exact thing. So 4 hour RSI looking fine. You could find support here and move up, but it also looks fine in the sense that you could go lower and still be fine. So don't worry about that too much. If we look at the relative low to high, relative low here to the relative high, you are reaching for your 618. Man, the more that I look at this, the more that it's suggesting the same thing that I've been saying, which is that you'll move down toward around like 26 to 26.5 cents. Likely you do hold 26.8 cents or something above 26.5 cents. That's your golden ratio from your relative low to high here. So that's nice seeing that kind of congruence. So I think we've come to a verdict. I think that I've gathered all the information that I need to gather. Truthfully, I think HBAR, looking at it here, it's still in its bull flag. It's still in it. Okay, you broke out of this kind of little phase here. You've definitely broken out of that, but overall you're still in it. I think this weekend, over the coming day, you have 18 hours left, 18 hours, 42 minutes left in Saturday, and then you have a whole another 24 hours left in Sunday. I think this weekend will be stagnant. You'll probably be, by the end of this week, the beginning of next week, you'll be at very similar prices to where you are now. I would guess even a little bit higher, because I think you will go down just a little bit from here today, going into tomorrow maybe even. You'll find support there, and then going into the end of the week, you'll probably come back up. You'll be at this price or likely higher by the end of the week. And then I think next week, going into January, you'll start to move up. Sometime early January, maybe like the 2nd or the 3rd, you'll correct a little bit. You'll pull down, giving January a red look at first, getting that wick to the downside on the month, and then from there you'll progress. I suspect this exact thing is actually going to happen, man. I really do think that by the end of this weekend, you'll find your low, you'll start to move up. Sometime very early January, you probably find resistance around 36.8 to 40 cents, somewhere in that zone. Then you probably pull back right to 32 cents, and then it's onward and upward for there, man. Let the good times roll, because at that point you really are breaking out of this bull flag. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. Back testing it for support and then ripping. So boring. Unfortunately, my friends, boring is what I have for you. All that to say, I think HBAR will be boring for the next 2 days. Do nothing. Go drink and be merry. Go smoke and be merry. Be sober and meditate and be merry. Whatever it is you do to relax, do that, because likely after a nice couple days of relaxation, you'll come back, you'll look at the chart, and it's like a cent further up from where it is now, maybe half a cent, maybe less than that, right? It's not going to be too far away. If I'm wrong, the only way that I would suspect that I'm wrong is that we just we erupt right now. We have a bullish breakaway weekend, which we could have, we really could have, but I'm not suspecting it at this moment. So I've said everything I need to say, guys. If you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.